Welcome to Multifamily Deal Lab, where your host, Dave Lindahl, dissects recent multifamily deals done by his guests. Dave will extract what went right, what went wrong, and a number of key takeaways so your next deal may be more profitable.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Multifamily Deal Lab, where we dissect deals. And today I am with Darren Kemp. Darren, tell everybody who you are and where you're from.
Darren Kemp. I'm from Northern Indiana, so Elkhart area.
El Cartel? What cartel?
El Cartel. Yeah, there you go.
What is Elkhart?
Elkhart. Yeah, just the city.
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah. All right. I've never heard of that city before.
Oh, you have not?
What's the population?
Oh, I would say 80.
80 people?
Oh, it's probably more than that. 80,000.
Oh,
it's good size. This is actually, Elkhart is the RV capital of the world.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
Is that because that's where they make them, or is that because they get a lot of parks there?
No, that's where they make them. There's 82% of all RVs are made in Elkhart County.
Oh, awesome.
So there's factories galore.
All right. Well, let's talk about the deal. Give everybody the parameters of the deal. How much was it? What size is it? Where is it?
Okay. It's in Bremen, Indiana, which is a smaller town, about half hour from here. It's a 30 unit, and it was built it looks like villas, townhomes. It was built in 96.
Yep.
And
30 units.
My uncle owned it, and he built them. He owned Kemp Construction. So I've always had my eyes on these.
So your uncle built them for somebody, or he built them for himself and then sold them?
For himself. Yeah.
Oh, nice. How many years did he own them?
Well, he built them in 96, and he owned them until I bought it from him.
Oh, you bought it from him. Okay.
Yes.
So it's an arm's length transaction, or it's not an arm's length transaction. Yeah.
Yes. It's staying in the family.
Okay. Interesting. So the asking price was 2.8 million and you paid 2.5. How did you ring him down 300,000?
Well, he wanted me to have it as well. Originally, when I asked him about it, because his cousin, who's my age, he was like, "You got to buy these from my dad," because he knew what I was going to RE mentor training. Yep. And so I approached him, and he was like, "Well, yeah, you just keep bugging me, every year until I give up." And then about 3 months later, he came up with, "Hey, let's talk." And he had the 2.8. And so I said, "Well, let me do some underwriting, and I'll get back with you." So I did. I mean, it looked good at 2.8, but I'm like, 2.5 is a better number for me. And
did you justify it? Did you justify that 2.5?
No, he didn't ask. He just agreed. I'm like, that's 300,000. But
wouldn't that be great if all sellers were like that?
He was so easy to work with, because I think he really wanted me to have it too.
Well, how would you have justified it if you had to justify the 2.5? How would you have justified a $300,000 haircut? 300,000 is what, 2 RVs? Is that how much those things go for?
Oh, well, some of them, I know my brother is a superintendent. Like some of them their expensive one is 1.6 mil. So yeah, kind of crazy price.
I was just, so Rob Roswell is one of our clients. And so I follow him on TikTok. And so he was just, I guess, apparently they decided they're going to go on like a 3-week trip. So they went out and they bought an RV, because he sold all his auto repair shops, and he's into a bunch of apartments and made a bunch of money. So he bought this RV, and on his TikTok yesterday, he was like, "Yeah, I pulled this out of the garage. We went down the road a little bit and it's falling apart."
It's falling apart.
Yeah, so he had to go bring it back into the shop before he made his trip. I look at those, they look like huge busts, it's like, how do you take a corner in those things?
Yeah, they're huge. They're 45 foot long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to the deal. So Let me think. So did you guys structure this deal? Like, did you put any money up at all?
Yes. I put up 200,000.
Okay.
And that's all part of the structure of the deal. Mm-hmm. Originally, so I came back with them was like 2.5, but why don't you sell or finance, and then you'll be the bank, you'll make the interest, you'll make more. And he was like, yeah, he likes that. And so let me talk about it. Let me talk to my attorney about it. So he came right back to me. and said, yes, you bring $1 million and I'll seller finance 1.5. I said, well, bringing $1 million, I will need to get another loan. I don't have $1 million laying around unless I would sell off rentals. And I told him I don't want to do that. So
you didn't have any cans in your backyard you could have dug up?
Well, that's a different story. I might.
Okay.
No. So I told him, so if I don't have to get another loan, you bring 2 million, I'll bring no, originally it was 2.3 and I'll bring 200. I said, I have 200 I can put that way, we're good. You can finance 2.3. And so that's how it was up until close to closing.
So you negotiated him down originally from 2.8 to 2.3.
2.5.
Well, wait, how'd you get with that wait a minute. So I thought you just said that you negotiated him down to 2.3, but because he was going to come up with the 2 million in financing, then you were going to raise it to 2.5.
No, it was, so the sales price was 2.5 and he agreed to finance 2.3 and I would bring 200.
Okay, so that's interesting. So, interestingly enough, I bought my first multifamily deal from my father.
Really?
Which was the 1-bedroom apartment that I was living in.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And it was, I had started investing in real estate, and my father was to the point where he wasn't sure if he wanted the property anymore. So he gave me a no money down deal to get into that deal.
Nice.
And that kind of didn't get the ball rolling because I really had to go out and buy one up by myself, to learn how to invest properly. But so how did you structure the terms on this deal, on this $2.3 million financing?
Okay, so the way it was structured, 4% interest, and he agreed to that right away. That's what I'm trying to think which one of us brought it to the table, but we both agreed for 4% interest.
Yeah.
For 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 years. And so originally, okay, and then go ahead.
Are the payments interest only, or were they amortized?
They're amortized.
Over how many years?
It's a 20-year.
Okay, amortized over 20 years. Why don't you just take them out to 30 and have lower payments if you're going to pay it off in 5 years?
He wanted $12,000 a month.
Oh, I see. Okay. So this is interesting, these negotiations, because it gives everybody else an idea of how these things actually come into fruition, Yeah. So he had a goal of getting $12,000 of, was that how much he was netting on that property? Or how did he come up with that figure?
He wanted 15, but I said, now wait a minute. This thing is only currently it's only bringing in 21,000 and change. Mm-hmm. And said, no, we got to do 12. I think I'll be fine there. And he agreed to that. This is cash flowing. So we could have probably done the 15, but I'm glad I didn't.
It'd be really tight at 15.
It would be very tight.
What are your expenses running at? By like 25 to 27% of gross on that property?
That's a trick question. I should have had my accountant with me.
Well, how much cash flow are you getting at the end of the month after you pay off all the expenses?
I'm just turning everything back in. I'm not taking anything off of it. So we're probably about between 4,000 and 5,000 is what we have left every month. So that's just building up. So
you're netting 4,000 or 5,000 each month?
Yeah.
Okay, and are you escrowing for taxes and insurance and those one-time fees that hit you?
Yes.
Okay, so the net on that's probably about 3,000 or so, you think?
No, that's with everything out.
But that's with your taxes and insurance out as well?
Insurance, not taxes. Sorry about that. Yeah, not taxes.
Not taxes.
Probably like 3,000.
Yep. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your strategy here? If you want to increase the value of this property so you can refinance it. So what would you have to do if you got 200 into it, right? So
I put 200 into it.
All right, let me see. I'm going to do a calculation here. We're at 2, 3. What I'm trying to figure out is how much you have to increase the value in order to get an 80% refi out of this deal. Oh, that's not it. Get it wrong. You got to increase the value to say 2.9 million.
Yeah,
which is about 400,000. How are you going to do that?
Well, okay, so he had it paid off, and his rent was very low. He was at $720 for a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,000 square foot.
Yep.
And nowhere else in that town can you get anything for less than 1,000. So I'm increasing the rent. I took it up 120 right away.
Yeah. You said there's 30 units, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to inch my way up to 1,000.
I'm sorry. What were the rents now?
720.
Oh, 720. And you'll get it up to 1,000 within 5 years. So that's like 300.
Hopefully 3. Nah, probably. But this property has doesn't have a pool or dog park or anything like that, and there's no room for it like some of the others that. But some of them, the rents go up to $1,200 a month. So I think I'm still going to be good, even at currently.
Yeah, that's an increase of cash flow of $108,000 for the year, $9,000 for the month.
What do you think?
I think you're going to do it because if you divide that by a cap rate of even say 8, that's 1.3 million increase in value.
Yes, and I didn't get it appraised.
Yeah.
Who did it though? That said that this thing should be worth $4 million in a few years. You know, moving down. I'm like, well, if we increase the rent where it's supposed to be, yeah, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really not a property I want to sell.
Can you sell it? I mean, if your uncle gave you these terms and
no, not, I mean, even after the 5 years, you know,
right.
I want to keep it, and because it's close and it's a nice property, built 96, really doesn't need anything. He kept it like immaculate, you know, just really nice.
Yeah.
So
one of those legacy properties.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, the residents are like, you know, your uncle did this and this and this. I know he was out there every day because he was bored. He had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So and then legacy property, keep it in the family. You sell it to your nephew. Maybe.
No, my kids.
Or your kids. Yeah, absolutely. All right, good. Okay. So that was an unusual setup for that particular deal. What else happened here? Did you do a property inspection? Did you have a full property inspection done?
Just myself.
And what's your experience?
My experience. So I flip about 20 houses a year.
Yeah. So,
and I see inspectors going through my properties. I'm like, I mean, come on, I could do much better. It's how I feel a lot of times. It's like they don't find the stuff that I think they should. And I'm like, I just feel better inspecting it myself. Now, if there would have been like, you know, sprinkler systems, things like that, I would have had that inspected. I did have the sewer inspected. That was all good. And that was it. The rest I did all myself.
Okay. So, all right. So, you save money there. Do you inspect your own single family properties?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, good. So you have confidence in yourself. So let me ask you a question, right? Mm-hmm. Is owning multifamily properties and getting consistent cash flow month after month after month easier than flipping single family properties?
Well, easier, yes. It's easier, but I enjoy both of them. I'm still flipping 20 a year.
Yeah.
And I have now, as far as my residential rentals, yeah, get me into multifamily much quicker, you know, than.
There used to be a time before I had kids where I was still flipping single family properties because, you know, my story is I started with credit cards. And when I ran out of credit card money, I started using hard money. I learned how to use hard money to fund my deals with no money out of my pocket. Then I started flipping houses because I get into those with no money and I could flip them and I could get another deposit for another apartment building. And then I eventually get into private money. So somebody asked me when I used to teach, And I was still flipping. This is only like I stopped flipping houses when I had my kids.
Okay.
So I could spend more time at home. So somebody asked me, why do you still flip houses? You own over 9,000 units. Why do you still flip houses? And my answer was, because I can.
Because you can, yeah.
Because I got the system down.
Yeah.
It works really good, and it makes me money.
Absolutely. And I love that. That's the thing, is having systems down. Like,
yeah.
I was gone so I was sailing the British Virgin Islands for 10 days.
Nice.
And the day I came back, my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly. Oh. So I had another week that I took off there, and it was like, I didn't work. I didn't do anything for a month, but it still kept going, departments were doing fine. The flips were going, but it's all about, like you said, systems.
It's in multiple streams of income, because, apartment buildings, some people get into apartments because they're successful in something else and they want to increase their income streams. They want to increase their wealth. They want to increase the amount, their legacy. And some people start with apartments, but apartments isn't the end all. You can become very wealthy investing in apartments, but once you get these systems down, and of course, the first deal is always the hardest, can be difficult at first, but once you get those systems down and you're buying apartment buildings, you're putting the right management team in there, and you're asset managing properly, you have free time to do other things. And, I've gotten several other different types of business ventures.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Let me see. What else do we need to know about this deal then? Built in 1996. You're managing it yourself?
Kinda. So there's an office, nice office, and I have a lady working there. She works 4 days a week. No, 3 days a week and 4 hours every day. So she's there like 12 hours a day. So she does all the leasing, the background checks, anything with the residents. She takes care of everything. And then if there's a work order, she just puts it on the desk, takes a picture, and sends it to. I have a property manager, and retired guy. Yeah. That lives in town, is a genius. So she calls him, and he goes and fixes stuff. So.
You get your management systems in place.
There's my management system. Yeah, you could probably say I'm kind of self-managed, like evictions and stuff. That's my thing to do, but haven't had to do that. So, but yeah, I can go do the repairs if I want to, but I don't want to.
How long have you owned the property?
Bought it in December.
Oh, so about 6 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no evictions. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's one that needs to, but he's moving out next month, but he owes me a bunch of money. He's one of those, I'll get you caught up.
What advice would you give to somebody who's just getting started at looking for their first apartment deal?
Well, keep at it, and definitely, for us, so this one was I thought it was really simple. My second one seems to be my first one, if that makes sense.
What was your second one?
Well, we just have an accepted offer now.
Yeah.
So that one is is completely different. We'll do financing, that.
How many units?
It's just 18.
18 units. Where did you find it?
So it's a wholesaler.
Okay. So somebody that was flipping singles that got an apartment, doesn't know what to do with it. So we reached out to you probably because you're within that community, right?
Well, actually, they already have 280 units, so they do apartments. That's what they do.
Then why is he sending it your way?
He gets a lot of deals. I'm like, give me your broker's number. He's like, no, there's a deal. But I think it's a pretty good deal. We haven't even underwritten it. Just yesterday, I went and looked at it, and I'm sending earnest money tomorrow.
Wait, you haven't underwritten it?
No, I didn't even know about it because, like I said, it just happened so quick.
You put in an offer without underwriting?
Yes. He actually put the offer in. He said, if you want it, you can have it. Earnest money needs to be in. It's my nephew. Earnest money needs to be in tomorrow. And if you don't want it, I'll give you $8,000, get your earnest money back right away, and I'll take it on.
Oh, so there's no risk?
No risk. No, he'll take it on because it's real close to some of their others they have. So. So it's an 18 unit, 44,000 a door, built in 72.
Oh, it's an older one.
I thought that was pretty good. Pretty good. You know, I looked at it. It's 2 buildings, 2-story buildings.
Yeah.
So yeah. But to answer your question, what was it? Oh,
I don't know. What was the question?
What would I say to somebody going after their first deal?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's many ways to structure a deal, and don't give up. I mean, just because people are sending you deals doesn't make it a deal. We've gone through a bunch of them. You know, we toured them, sent out LOI. Then we toured them like, nah, numbers don't work. So not all numbers work.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of finding that most of them don't.
Yeah. Welcome to the game. Yeah. It's those relationships.
Yeah.
The most important thing when people say, oh my gosh, Dave, the Trinity doesn't work in this market. It's like, oh yeah, the Trinity works. It's like, if you're not getting deals, that's because you have the wrong relationships, because the Trinity is a conservative way to get into deals. And if you vary off the Trinity, then you're increasing the risk of that deal. So it all really depends on relationships. Relationships bring you deals on a regular basis.
It does.
In tight markets, you really rely on your relationships for deals. In, easy markets, which we're going into, by the way, there's just, the amount of deals that are becoming under contract from our clients is big. It's this market's starting to turn. It's really starting to turn. It's really exciting. I haven't been this excited since, I can't remember when. But, because it's been so long since this market turned, I was convinced in 2018 that we're at the top of the market. So we kind of backed off, and I decided to have kids, and we did like one-off deals. Nothing really. Wow. We never really staked the flag in any particular market. But now, there's a lot of opportunity out there, and it's starting to fall. Like I've said it before, 2023 is 2009 all over again. It's 2002 all over again. Takes a little time for the shallows to shake out. Takes a little time for the banks to shake out the deals that they took under, took foreclosure. But that's all starting to happen now. And by the time we hit fourth quarter, it's going to be like balls to the wall. These jogs will turn into a sprint. But okay, it is really exciting. Hey, what's your favorite business book?
Well, yours. That's actually yours is probably the last one about multifamily is the last one I read. I don't read a whole lot, to be honest.
Multifamily Millions?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't read that much and you read that book, you read the right book.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I knew that was coming. And it is. It's a great book.
It is a good book.
I do need to, I have 6 different businesses, and but I do need to, read more.
What are the other businesses you're in?
Well, okay, so I have the multifamily business, and then I have a partner, Norm Bontrager. He's my partner in another one. And this 18 unit we're doing together.
Yeah.
And then I have rentals, residential rental business, and my flip business. And I'm a contractor, which I don't do anything for general public, but that company does all my rentals and all my flips. So a lot of money goes through that.
Different verticals that support each other. That's how you grow businesses.
Yes. Yep. And that's why I have a wholesale company.
Just as an aside, anybody that's in the multifamily business, so just starting out, if you focus on one particular area, and you accumulate a portfolio in that area, the next step there is to create a turn business. Where you're turning units. So you're sending that team to all the different properties and the turning units.
Yes.
You create a landscaping business to go to the different properties and do the landscaping. There's a lot of different businesses that you can create inside the vertical of your multifamily business. Yes. The way we always did it was anytime that we were going to hire one of our companies, at a property to do the servicing, then we always got 3 bids out in the general public, and we always made sure that we were either lower than the lowest bid or equal to the lowest bid. So therefore, there was no conflict in terms of.
I gotta go with you. Yeah.
But anyways, that's for anybody that's listening. That's something that you think about, as you're, we're doing a bunch of different deals now, and they're in different parts of the country. And I was just having this conversation with my partner. It was like, hey, we got to focus on one particular area. I know we can do these one-off deals. We do a lot of deals with our clients.
Yeah.
We sponsor a bunch of deals, which we're happy to do, but they're in, they're just in different areas of the country. But I said to him yesterday, I said, all right, we got to choose, between these three markets, which one are we going to hit first? Which one are we going to establish? What's that word I'm looking for? Economies of scale.
Okay.
So we can establish economies of scale in this particular market, and then we can start, growing these other businesses as well.
Yes.
So that's one of the lessons for today's show. All right. So that's another edition of Multifamily Deal Lab. And that's how Darren did it in Indiana with the cartel.
This has been another edition of Multifamily Deal Lab. If watching on YouTube, please be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, so you don't miss the next session, and review the contact links on this page.